Today we're going to make a new GitHub repo. This may not be the right way to do things, but it works for me. So first thing I do is I start off, so I'll be following these steps here. This will be in the description. And the first thing I do is I start from the browser. And let's go to the browser here, maximize it. And in the profile page, you got a bunch of tabs. Click on the repositories, click on the new, click on the name. I'll have a goofy name. Iverilog-examples. You can see it already wants me to do that. If I hit an enter key, that will accept this and skip everything else, and you'll have a nice empty repo. Let's go down a little bit more and just add a README file because I'll want one of those eventually. The git ignore would be nice, but I'm not going to have that for this one. And choose a license. I always just pick the MIT license. Pick your favorite, and then you just click create repository. And boom, what's done? We've got a license, the README. README just has iverilog-examples. And so that's it. We have a new project. Great. GitHub does not accept your password, your GitHub password, when you do a git push. It needs you to use a special personal token. So let's create the token. And so that's where you go over to this icon, your icon in the upper right-hand corner, left click, scroll down to a lot of options, but scroll down to settings, left click over here, and keep on scrolling, scrolling. Developer settings right at the bottom, left click, and oops, and then personal access tokens, left click, tokens classic, left click. Now generate new token, click that button with a left click, and generate new token classic, hit it with a left click. And for a note, put in anything you want. See, I've tried to cover things. Doesn't really matter what it is. For expiration date, you can leave it at 30 days, or you can change to 7 days, or you can change it to no expiration. You can see they kind of frown on that, but it's up to you. And then you got let's do 7 days since this is a little demo. I'll be deleting this token right after this demo. So don't get any ideas. So here we're going to click on repo. Oh yeah, so these scopes are what this token is good for. So I'm going to use it for my repo work. I don't know what most of these other things are. If you do, select those. I also sometimes create some gists, and I don't know what the rest of this is, so I'll just skip it. And I'll go to generate token and left click the button. And now we've got a personal access token. And that's what we'll use as a password when we log in from the command line. So we've got that. And now we're almost good to go. So let's move the browser out of the way for now. Brings us back to the notes and also our Linux bash terminal. I'm running in Ubuntu 22.04. Running in a VirtualBox. I don't think any of that really matters. None of this is bash specific, so you could probably even use different shells if you wanted to. All right. So first thing is I'm gonna triple click on this git clone with the path. And when I triple clicked, you can see it's selected. I'm going to come back over here. My cursor's in my terminal window, and I'm gonna the scroll bar, the middle click, I'm gonna click that. This may not work if you're using the mouse pad or something else, but the touchpad or whatever you call it. But it works fine on the mouse, or at least for mine. So got that. So it's selected here, and I'm going to press enter. And look at that. And now let's take a look at what we've got here. So ls, it puts, which is a directory command in Linux, shows the files. And so you can see I kind of typed it. So I typed in IV, nice and slow, IV. Then I hit the tab key, which is like a command complete. And you can see that it finished off the rest of the command. Now I hit the enter. And those are the two files that we had, a license and a README. And so those have been downloaded. That's kind of nice. Now, also, there's a hidden file. So with the -a option, ls returns all files, including hidden files. And there's a .git folder. So in Linux, anything that starts with a dot is a hidden file. And now if we just do one more command here, let's see if we do a find. Find is a neat command that'll tell you everything that is in a directory and all of its subdirectories. So you can see I typed in find, I typed in IV tab, and that got me the whole word. Now I'm going to hit the enter. Well, I don't need to do anything with this, but there's a lot of Git files here. Sometimes I mess with the Git config file, but for the most part, or I look in the Git config file. But you can see there's a lot of hidden files that are all in the .git folder. But you don't need to know any of that right now. So let's just go back to an ls, and we do a ls on example 1. So this is my existing code. It's simple. It's just a few files, 5 files. So let's copy that folder into the new Git folder. So I'm going to copy -rf. R is recursive for directories. F is just for good measure. It kind of, I think it means force. Example 1 into IV tab. Right, and I press the enter key. And now let's do a find. That's it. We'll do it. Let's find. All right, so it's got that and the example directory. So now then, let's cd down into the iverilog directory. Let's change directory. Let's return ls. And let's do an ls example 1. Those are the files I want to add. So let's see, we can do something like if we want to add these. Oh, so first let's look at status. So what it's saying is the branch is up to date. We've got this new example 1 directory, which is not currently being tracked. And that's what we want to track. So when we want to add it, we say git add the file. So what we have to do is just what it tells us, git add example 1. Now we can look at status and see what happens. Now these are all in green. The files that we want are in green. So now it tells us what we can do. If we want to unstage them, so these are means staged. If you want to unstage them, you can do something like this. We don't. We want them all. So we want to go to the next step, which is to commit them. It doesn't tell you how to commit, which is too bad, but we can easily do that. So what we do is I git commit dash m, which stands for message. And the message we want is first. I mean, why not? I'm going to hit enter. And now let's do another git status. So one thing I did there is on the Linux command line, the up arrow key is a command history, remembers everything that I've typed. So in this case, I went up, and 2 up arrows got me to the git status. And then hit enter. And look at that. We've got your branches ahead of the origin main by 1. So we've added stuff to our local Git repository. So now it is ahead of the one that's up on the GitHub server. And we want to fix that. We want to push all of our work up to the GitHub server. So we'll use the git push command. But first things before we do that is you want to go in and you want to do this command right here. Let me git config -- global credential.helper space store. And so I've just triple clicked on that. I'm going to come back over into this window here and I'll do the middle. And that is the command which will put Git into like a password helping mode where it's going to store the next password that we enter. So let's hit enter. And then after that, you won't probably ever have to use a password again because it's been stored. So let's hit an enter key. So that's all nice and good. And now when we do a git push, it's going to ask us for our username and password. Git push. And in my case, it's busted wing 1. Press enter. The password is not a GitHub password. Your password is this guy. Over here, this is in our browser. So we do a Control C. I guess you can do a right click, copy. And let's drag this over here. See this, or actually right click, Control. So you right click, paste. That looks about the same, right? And so let's go to this guy here. So I click to this terminal here. Right click, left click right here. And now then, right click, left click on the paste. Should have entered the password. So let's hit enter and see what happened. Oh no, it didn't like it. I didn't like it. I think I've seen this once before. Hold on again. So let me do this. So I just right click on this guy, copy, go to this guy, right go on here and paste, which is there. Well, I don't know. Double click on him. Get rid of him. Arrow, push. Now I'm going to middle click. What's the scroll bar? This is a different way of cutting and pasting. Uses different buffers. Middle click, enter. And look at that. That works. So just be careful of cutting and pasting when you play around with these things. All right, so now we've just, let's do a git status. All right, so the branch is up to date with origin main, which is what is up on the GitHub page, and there's nothing to commit. Now we do ls vi reading that text. Okay, so quick VI lesson. I'm not good at VI, but A for append. Now we're in this mode where we can, so I just typed in the letter A, and that's a command that puts us into append mode. And now then we're going to type in something like, something. Okay, and now to get out of this append mode, hit the escape key. And now we can move around again. And now we want to save what we just did. So shift colon, and you can see way down here, it puts us into another special mode. This is still VI, right? It's an editor from the 70s or 80s. And now you can do a W for write, which saves the file. Instead of saving, it's called write. And then Q, which will quit the VI editor and bring you back to the command prompt. And now you hit the enter key, and now we can use the cat, which is the Unix command to display or print the file or show the file. And R, capital R, is a tab key, types it all out for me. Command complete, and then I'm going to hit this enter key, and so it's got example one does something nice. Now then, we're doing git status. Now look, we've got a modified file, readme. So we want to git add read tab ahead, enter, git status. And so we've got this modified file, changes to be committed. And so that'd be the readme file. So we want to commit here. So git commit -m for stands for message, double quotes inside the, I guess single quotes probably work too. Why not? Read.md. Let's call it bump. So we're going to do bumping here. Right? So now that's there. So that's been committed. And then we do status one more time. We can see that we're ahead again of the origin, which is GitHub, by one commit. So we've just done the commit. We want to push it. And now, before we hit the enter, we should not be prompted for our username password because it should have been captured when we did it the previous time. Fingers crossed, enter. Hey, no password needed. Nice. Also, just a quick note, when it did save your username and password, it should be in your home directory, in a file called .git. Git tab. Good, tab ed work. Credentials. So .git-credentials in your home directory. And that's there. They try to make it a little protected. The -L gives more information about a file. So it's kind of a funny Unix format. But the first three letters stand for, or maybe the first four, I don't know. But the first few letters stand for the user. That's you, me, and I have read-write access to it. The next few letters stand for the group, and so that's more people that might have access to it. And then the next few letters stand for the world, which is where basically everybody who's on the system. And the dashes mean they do not have access. So only you, me, the user, has read-write access to this file. So let's see what's in it anyway. So let's do a cat, which displays a file. And now double click on the file, middle click, hit enter. And so this is what's in the file. It's got HTTPS, busted with my GitHub username. It's got the new authentication code that we've just created. And it says at GitHub. So that is what is stored in that file. If any of them got access to this file, they can do stuff to your GitHub repo. So just be a little careful with it. But it's not too bad. All right, so now that we've just pushed it up, so now let's go to the browser again. Not done with this. Okay, maximize him. Let's go to here. Let's here was that upper right-hand corner. Come down with profile. All right, so here we are, our brand new repo. Let's left click on that repo, go to him, and we've got the license and README, which started out originally. It's got our updated README file with example1 does something. And then we go to example1. It's got all of our little files that we need to use, that we wanted. So I think that's all we need for today. So I'm going to close out of Share X video screen recorder with a shift print screen.